Hi there, it's Jane Bytheway, and I wanted to share with you today something that came up in a conversation I had this morning. I absolutely love the magic that happens in powerful conversations where maybe you learn something new or you rehear something that you haven't necessarily integrated yet. And that's something that happened for me this morning. When I created the vlog post a couple of days ago that referred to the book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, what I didn't tell you at the time, but I will share now, is that when I pulled it off the shelf, there was a post-it note stuck on the front, which asked a question that I was clearly considering back at the time. When I am completely internally directed, what is my identity? Now, what does that mean? Well, I was contemplating the fact that oftentimes I tailor and change the things that I do or don't do because I'm thinking about how other people will receive it and what they will think. And that's really being externally directed. Whereas when we choose to tune into what we know is right for us, that is when we're being internally directed. And I know that I show up as a very different person. I feel much stronger, much more powerful, much more capable when I tune into what I know is right for me, rather than worrying and minding about what other people are going to think. And that came up in a conversation I was having this morning with a client who, in the course of setting up his business over the last year, has also found himself considering what will people think and noticing that he either hangs back from or does things based on that at times. And one of the things he found himself getting quite tied up with is this whole idea that in order to be successful, we need to be working hard, we have to get out of bed and maybe do some exercise and some meditating, and then we've got this approach to the day that's all about get this done, get this done, get this done. There's quite a lot of energy and push and drive there, and that's what the successful people do. And he was starting to tell himself a story that, that's where success comes from, and if I'm not doing those things, that means I'm being lazy. And we just paused for a moment and explored that, because it was like, so I either have to be totally and utterly driven in a way that isn't me, or if I'm not doing that, then I'm lazy. And we looked at each other and he just went, oh, that's ridiculous. And I said, well, yeah, I'm sure there are many, many other possibilities that lie in between those two extremes. What about finding your own way? And actually, he has been doing that. He's been enjoying the time that he's had available to spend with his family over the summer months. Not that he hasn't been working, he carried on working, but he also took some time with his wife and two small children and totally enjoyed it. And we got to exploring, well, what does it mean? Turning to your own internal direction. What would it be for him to give himself permission to live his life and run his business the way that works for him? I think it's a really powerful question, and certainly one that I'm going to carry on exploring. I wonder what comes up for you when you ask yourself, who would I be if I am totally internally directed? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks very much.